Hello again, Matt.
Hi, Klaas.
Hello. So today we'll be continuing our discussion about the impact of the proposed APRA changes on the IP product set.
Yeah.
And the first question I wanted to ask you was, given, from what you've seen from the recent surveys that we've done over the past 6 or so months or so, what do you think the current approach towards those changes is within the industry?
Yeah, so I think in terms of how big a change people are expecting there to be in the product design for IP, we surveyed some industry professionals in March, and about 80% said that they thought there would be some change in product designs, but it wouldn't necessarily be a radical change. So that was in March. We had a few saying it would be more material, and we had a handful saying that they didn't think there would be much change at all. And then just recently, so about 5 months later, and obviously post-COVID, we did the same survey at an Institute of Actuaries function, and we got almost identical results, which I found a bit surprising.
Mm. And we've talked about it before, but can you remind us of what the potential implications are of the minimal change, I'd call it, approach that they might be adopting?
Yeah, so I think when you look at the intent of the APRA intervention, they would say, there are certain requirements that people need to meet, and maybe you think you can meet those requirements with some smaller changes, but there's also questions there around insurability, sustainability, and risk management. And I'm really not sure that you're going to really hit the intent of what APRA is looking for with only modest changes to the product design.
Right. So if we were to put ourselves in the shoes of an exec, so what would you think is the opportunity here?
So I think there's a really great opportunity. So IP sales have been down for a while, and the removal of agreed value as part of the APRA intervention is only going to have exacerbated that. Premiums are going up and up. Affordability issues are real. I think there's definitely an opportunity for a company to launch a product that is significantly simpler than the current offerings, that has potentially got materially lower coverage, but is still of value to the customer, and at a much lower price point. I think potentially you can build that in a way that meets a reasonable expectation in terms of bid. When you think about the financial opportunity that the customer is foregoing with those large premiums to either save for their retirement or pay down their mortgage, for example, I can see absolutely you could have a bid discussion that would promote a simpler and cheaper product.
And it sounds like a lower IRR would be a key lever in terms of achieving that.
Yeah, I think so. So, we've seen and we've spoken about it before that a lower IRR is probably the key way that you can materially impact on the claims cost, still at a point that is appropriate for many customers, and really get the cost of the premium down significantly.
Great. Thanks very much for your insights again today, Matt, and see you next time.
Thanks, Klaas.